We're worried about the ramification of AI replacing medical authority. I can get a scan that does not require a human, and that scan will tell me if I'm good or not, right? It's going to tell me what to do as well. We have a doctor that we work with, and according to him, people who have been using Young Goose for 2 months, 60 days prior to surgery, have a 20 to 25% faster recovery rate. When we are worried about, AI, which is, a lot of what I deal with currently outside of Young Goose, is AI and AI ethics. Actually, most of my interviews now are about that. But we're worried about AI replacing, or the ramification of AI replacing medical authority, for example, radiologists.
Okay.
And that's, in a utopian vision of that, that is a type of panacea. I can get a scan that does not require a human, and that scan will tell me if I'm good or not, right? It's going to tell me what to do as well. Doctor is not needed, and the doctor can go home. He can practice, painting or karate. I don't know, okay? But he won't have or she won't have a job anymore. The problem is that even in that case, all the radiologists listening, there would have to be some level of scrutiny, human scrutiny.
Correct.
And that is where very effective solutions like Young Goose require professionals for that scrutiny. So a client, a patient would not need to listen to 12 different 45-minute podcasts to understand what their, health routine should be.
Right.
They could go to the doctor, plop a few hundreds of dollars on the table, and the doctor will give them a list of what they need and how they need to consume it.
Right.
That's why companies like us exist and succeed. It's because a relationship between creating the best product possible, which is never simple. It's never a one-liner.
Right.
And a medical professional saying, hey, I have exhausted, I've done the research, I've walked, 100 miles in the shoes of research or whatever, and this is my conclusion. Okay. So that is how Young Goose basically helps professionals. We obviously have protocols. We have a lot of experience. We are in around 500 centers around the world. So
amazing.
We know what people asked questions.
Right.
We have a database of FAQs, thousands of FAQs. We actually do have an AI trained on those FAQs that you could access as a professional.
Isn't that an appropriate use of AI when you have the frequently asked questions and you have the answers that make sense to those questions? It does seem appropriate that that's when AI can help.
Yeah.
So I understand that. That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask a little bit about product usage and maybe some stories, sharing some compelling stories or something that helps our listeners understand, because you talked about it a little bit earlier, but what are some case studies that help us understand how this works?
Okay, I'll give you 2 case studies. One is for a very old person.
Okay.
We had a 94-year-old lady from somewhere near Naples, Florida.
Okay.
Forget the name. The place, Bonita was something.
Oh, Bonita
Anyway,
Springs, maybe?
Bonita Springs.
Hey.
Right. So she had, I'm really weary of getting into like medical, to call what she had by name.
Sure.
As far as like
Sure.
skin issues, but she had skin issues that she had dealt with for over 15 years. And obviously she also had skin aging.
Especially in Florida. Sure.
Yes. She would like to take care of both. Obviously, she looks for a lot of different solutions. The problem is that conventional dermatology and aesthetic dermatology actually live within the juxtaposition of signal and repair. But the older the person is, their ability to react to stimulation is significantly diminished.
Sure.
And that is where Young Goose came in. So what we did was we didn't even know this person But we didn't know that person, right? That person reached out and said, hey, here's my story.
Mhm.
And her story is very simple. She filled up a quiz. By now, we have a more advanced version of that. But here are my issues. Obviously, she didn't say I have that medical skin issue, but this is what I want to target. She got a list of products she could use, good, better, best, for
Okay.
that matter.
Mhm.
She chose best. And the before and after is like seriously mind-blowing.
Is that on your website somewhere?
Actually, so I am extremely weary about posting before and afters on the website for a couple reasons.
Okay.
First of all, I don't like to empower that as far as like general practice, because this is something that people abuse all the time.
Sure.
Different light can change it dramatically. So I don't like to play into that game.
That makes
If anyone, doctors get a huge folder of before and afters from us.
Mhm.
We have it in studies that we publish, but also if anyone asks, we obviously provide them. I just
Sure.
don't want to play the game
Sure.
of that on the web. And by the way, apparently Meta, the company who owns Facebook and Google, agrees with me. And it's actually, they actually don't like when people use ads of before and after.
Oh,
Yeah, so I'm not the only one. I'm like
Gotcha.
probably there's another one there. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's number one. Number two, which is a pretty cool story, is actually before plastic surgery. So we have a doctor that we work with. He's in the Pacific Northwest. And according to him, people who have been using Young Goose for 2 months, 60 days prior to surgery, have a 20 to 25% faster recovery rate. And also, he has some qualitative data from a product called Vizia, which is like a AI-powered camera,
Mhm.
showing qualitative results as well.
Wow.
Yeah. And we actually then trademarked the term prejuvenation, which we haven't done anything with yet. But we strongly believe that if you are going to do any kind of rejuvenation procedure, you should be using our products beforehand because they make your skin behave like younger skin or functionally younger skin,
That's amazing.
which then obviously it can recover faster.
Right.
The third one, just because I
for
remembered
it.
Vizia, it's actually something that I normally don't say. We have a good friend, Amber Berger. She has a podcast called The Well Drop. Unsolicited. She's a customer. She has been a customer for a few years. And she has done a Vizia scan before she started using our products. And a few months after, maybe 6 months after she used our products.
Mhm.
And Vizia does have a feature of skin aging. Means, your skin, according to pigmentation, wrinkle depth, hydration, glow, I assume some other things, plumpness, dullness, things like that. She got a score, which was pretty good, below her age. But then after using the products for, I believe, 6 months,
Mhm.
that score lowered by 2 years.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
6 months.
And that is also on our Instagram. People can ask for it.
Okay.
And professionals can ask for it too. And also on her Instagram, she is very proud of it.
We'll make sure the show notes as well. But that's fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
6 months and 2 years. And I'm assuming, and that's never a good thing, but I do want to ask the question, this does seem like it's geared mostly towards that rejuvenation process, correct? But can it also be corrective in a sense?
Yeah. So this is, I think we're using rejuvenation thing is a big term
Mhm.
because you can include things that are intangible.
Mm-hmm.
But corrective would mean mostly, a goal and completing that goal, I
Yeah.
would say, in other words,
Right.
right? So corrective basically means a physical. Okay, I'm going to explain it. I'm going to maybe define it differently.
Okay.
Rejuvenation is more upstream. Okay, if we have the stream of cause and effect of aging,
Mhm.
rejuvenation is upstream. How do our cells behave, and do they behave younger, older? Are they more rejuvenated, less rejuvenated?
Right.
Whereas, correction, Botox could be deemed corrective because I had an issue and it corrected that feeling of my 11 lines.
Sure.
So, whereas Botox only works downstream where we cannot see that line. Obviously, the line is still there. We just can't see it now. Yeah, Young Goose can do both. Obviously, if it doesn't give you the results of Botox because it nothing can really.
Right.
But actually, we use a couple of molecules that there are studies showing that they can provide about 10 to 20% of the result of Botox.
Well,
So,
okay.
yeah.